Hi there. This is Afro Perspectives. Emerson Mnangagwa's trip to Moscow for the 80th Victory Day celebrations. He landed in Moscow on May 9, that was last Friday. Mnangagwa himself has stated that he got the opportunity to exchange ideas about how we can promote, that is, Zimbabwe and Russia can promote or deepen the cooperation. Mnangagwa has adopted Russia and Belarus as models of how to run a country, principally because these two countries are one-party dictatorships. If you sneeze the wrong way in Russia, or you smile in a way not approved by Putin, his secret police will make sure you jump off a high-rise building and land in the streets below to your tragic end. This is what Emerson Mnangagwa admires about Putin. In Belarus, which is his next destination after Moscow, his wife Auxilia has got opaque business deals, including arms for minerals arrangements and agricultural machinery acquisitions that are marked by secrecy. No one knows what these deals are worth. No one knows how much Auxilia gets. No one knows how much the Belarusians get. That's the state of the friendship. That's what Emerson Mnangagwa calls Belarus a strategic partner. Mnangagwa's alliance with Russia and Belarus have nothing to do with the interests of ordinary Zimbabweans. Putin is a former spy, and so is Mnangagwa. These two have an interest in sharing ideas on how to keep journalists under surveillance and anyone who poses a threat to Mnangagwa's one-man dictatorship. This is where Mnangagwa learns how to keep people like Blessed Dharamshlanga under the watchful eye of the state and the dark arts of destroying the opposition. Putin has lectured, probably schooled Mnangagwa on how to deploy imposters like Sengezo Shawangu to destroy the opposition. We have a one-party state in Zimbabwe, courtesy of Mnangagwa's friendship with dictators like Putin and Belarus Alexander Lukashenko. Consider what a strategic partner to the Russians mean. It's a man like Captain Ibrahim Traore. Putin sent a private jet to pick him up in Burkina Faso. And consider this, he is young and dynamic, only 37 years old. He got a deal with the Russians to build a nuclear power plant in Burkina Faso, in the capital Ouagadougou to be precise. And Rosatom, the Russian nuclear energy parastatal, is building the country's first nuclear plant. Traore has extracted deals from the Russians, including energy, technology transfer and other strategic deals like investments in the nuclear sector, like what I've just recounted to you right now. While in Zimbabwe, we have our own version of Traore, and he is not even from the military. He is a civilian, and he has won elections twice. And the only thing that has prevented him from taking power are the likes of Chiwenga giving directions to Priscilla Chigumba to announce false results. He has been prevented from taking over power because there is just no one to declare his win. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to name his name here because probably you will think like, well, I'm biased, I'm fighting one other guy's battles, and I am, but you know what I'm talking about. Contrast this with Mnangagwa going to the Russians to thank them for weapons supplied to the liberation struggle, to the liberation movements over 45 years ago. And this is what the man we are talking about, a dinosaur, someone who lives in the past. We are living in the present right now. We need things like investments into our education system, building hospitals, building roads, and, well, Putin doesn't even remember the liberation struggle from like over 45 years ago. And an old dinosaur like Mnangagwa consider this, like he was asleep during most of those proceedings when Putin was standing on the podium giving a speech. Mnangagwa was asleep. Look at that. I'll put that picture on screen, on that image on screen on there. You might think probably I'm inventing this, but you can see him for yourself taking a snooze in the picture, and he's having a siesta. After feasting on vodka and caviar, he just took a nap. And let's pray he was not snoring. Otherwise, he probably was asleep, and then he fell asleep and drooling with all those things you would expect from someone that old, an 86-year-old guy, someone who should be looking after his grandkids. He should be in retirement or even in a care home. But what is he doing? He's pretending to be like leading a country, and all he does is go to sleep on meetings. So what does Zim get for the trip to Russia? Not much, really. Mnangagwa went to address Zimbabwean students, and who advises Mnangagwa to plan to blow millions of taxpayer dollars just to go and address students in Russia, or to just watch soldiers marching on a military parade, really? Well, for the trip to Russia, Emmerson Mnangagwa had 2 professors as part of his entourage, and that is Mutuli Ngube and Amon Muruhira. And if you look at the deal Traore would get from the Russians, investment worth millions of dollars in a strategic sector like nuclear power, and then we have 2 former university professors accompanying Mnangagwa just to address Zimbabwean students in Russia, or to just watch a military parade. What do Zimbabwean taxpayers get for that sort of thing, And this is what we're talking about, like old and tired leaders, recycling people who have nothing worth to give to the people of Zimbabwe. When we are talking of young and dynamic leaders, this is what we mean. Mnangagwa in 2023 bought 54 million US dollar 12-seater Falcon X7 plane as a presidential jet, and you can figure out for yourself his entourage to this, like the Victory Day celebrations in Russia. He had more than 12 people, and he probably has chartered a wide body jet to accommodate all those sycophants and all those praise singers he took to Russia. And on this Russian trip, he had more than 12 people accompanying, like I've said before. And the last time we chartered a wide body jet, it cost the Zimbabwean taxpayer something like close to $700,000 US dollars for that trip, and that was the Russia-Africa Summit trip in St. Petersburg. I think that was sometime in 22-23. If I'm wrong, please just correct me in the comments below. And this is the level of extravagance. And Mnangagwa is literally blowing millions of US dollars so he can take a siesta in Russia or address Zimbabwean students standing in Russia. These expenses, by the way, they are not declared to Parliament. They are off-the-book expenses. No one knows how much millions of taxpayers Mnangagwa is blowing on these junkets. In the face of hospitals going without basic medicines, kids in rural Binga studying under mango trees. Is this actually justifiable? Can the Zimbabwean taxpayer afford such levels of extravagance? And, so I rest my case. If you have anything to say about this, and if you think I've missed out something, or I have skipped on adding what you think would make this, please just drop your comments below in the box below. And if you like this analysis, please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Siyabonga tatenda. Bye.